Simple wheel swap. We'll put some R32 rims on this Datsun 620. I'll see how it looks with the white walls out when it's actually on the truck. We can always flip the tires if you don't like it. .732 drill bit. I like to put some oil on the rivet itself. I got a Marvel Mystery Oil. That's what I use. You guys can use whatever you want. And center it. Nice. And then you just slightly go in until you get rid of the top half of the rivet. And that's pretty much that. See the difference? Going to the back now. If you don't have a drill or you don't have a bit, don't try to do it by prying it open. It is going to break, and then the chassis is going to get messed up, and then so, and if you are under the age of 13 and you're using a drill and a bit, have someone around you and know what to do. You know, don't try to do stuff you're not used to doing. So pretty much both rivets are now drilled out nice and neat, and you separate everything. I'll go right back here with my little flathead screwdriver I have, and that's that. I usually just push it down as far as I can until the chassis just pops up. Sometimes what happens is one of the rivets on the opposite end, when you go down and then you get it, you grab it over here, whichever end, and you yank, you can break the rivet where it holds. Put it back. Okay, so now put this aside. You got your chassis, you got your old wheels, you got everything exposed. Now you do have these little tabs. You have to move them out of the way, nice and easy. If you do break one, then you have the option of using some type of putty or adhesive to glue the axle back in spot. So what I do is I get in here with a flathead and I literally move it just a tiny bit, enough for the axle to pop out. Because if it pops out, then the new axle is going to pop in. So I got it out, and then boom, there you go. Got one axle out, and Harbor Freight picks two. And then once it's popped out, you can literally take the flathead, the little tiny flathead right here, go in, you move that over, I go in on this side, move that over, go on the back, slightly, that's it, move it over. So now, set that aside a second, I'm going to grab my wheel and axle, I'm going to place the first axle in one side. So, I mean, don't try to push like this. You're going to make this stab you. And then you're not going to be doing a wheel swap. You'll be going to the ER. A gentle tap. Remember guys, these wheels are plastic. So any big, heavy tap, you are going to go right through the center. And then you have a broken wheel. So a lot of people like to do wheel swaps and they just swap out the wheels and that's it. That's fine. You can do what you want. I like to take attention to details, so I like to put the axles in. Alrighty, and you know, Hot Wheels, Matchbox, M2. Everyone is guilty of having a little bit of wheel play in their vehicles, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. They've been doing it for ages, you know, whatever. I feel like if you're going to customize something, get rid of the slack. So I like to pop the wheel in. It's going to pop right back in. Sometimes you got to give it a little pressure on both sides at the same time. Okay. Now, I'm glad this is happening while I'm on camera because this axle is obviously thicker than this axle. See what we do here? Now, when we run into a case like that, set this aside, I usually like to take a razor blade and if you're swapping axles with another set of factory axles that are put together like this, that's fine because they're going to pop right in like that or pop right out. But when you're going to upgrade to a different size axle as this one, what happens is this is smaller. So what I do is I would recommend doing everything that I'm doing because I've been doing this for a while. So pretty much I took a flathead and I sharpened it up to almost like a razor. And I get in and I'm pretty much prying inside. Where the actual shaft would sit. So what that's doing is freeing up some of the plastic. It's plastic, it's gonna move. Don't go too much, you flex, you brake, and then you got no chassis. Or you flex your brake, and then you got a broken chassis. You can fix it with some adhesive, and that's it. So now they got the axle in. Axle in, it's not coming out. You could make sure you push it in a little bit. Now, this, when you do a wheel swap and you upgrade the wheels like this, you are not going to be able to roll the car as freely as you want. When everything's back together, it is going to roll. You got to put a little bit of force to it. It is going to roll. I'm not doing any lower modifications on this or anything like that right now. I'm doing a simple wheel swap with some bigger axles. So, boom, got this on. I like to fit it up because I like bolt ends to hit the chassis. I don't want to see that normal. I see. I don't have a. Here we go. This is factory. We all know this famous R33. The wheel plate. That right there. That's fine because this is a premium, so it doesn't have as much play. But when you go to like a, come off the camera for a second. When you go to a factory car, I'm using this as an example. You got a lot of play. That's okay. That's fine. It's not neat. I like to do things neat. So, obviously, you can see how wide this wheel is. You can put the wheel right on there and offer it up. I'm going to actually trim. If you look at this notch, there's notches already built into that. I'm going to trim, go down to the second notch. Maybe just the first notch. Sorry. Let's do the first notch. And, again, it'll pop right out. Oh, shit. Cutters, go down to the first notch. I'm going to cut that off. Alright. You want to put that on there, line up the hole, and I use a needle nose or something. I do have a hammer, I can't find it right now. And when you hit this down, make sure you put it in straight. What happens is, I like to start it off and then I do the rest by hand. Again, you gotta be careful because you don't want that going through and ending up in your finger. And then you give it a little roll, look straight to me, look nice and straight, and I pop that in. Place it back. You know what I mean? And you gotta remember the actual the actual middle piece of the car has these cutouts. You can trim this out a little bit, those notches, which will let the axle go up if it was a skinnier axle. Being that I'm just doing a simple rim swap, I pop that back in, and I like to make sure that when it's back together like that, and it rolls. I'm not going to be playing with it, but it rolls. Like I said, we're doing a simple wheel swap. Again, before I start the other side, I'm going to take this, move this out of the way, like I did before. This is my first video, by the way, guys. Like and subscribe if you want. I will be having a lot of videos coming up because I do a customized car all the time. I customize a lot of stuff. I made my own 240 convertible. Alright, that came out pretty decent, I think, you know. I did the interior, roll cage. This was gifted to me by a buddy of mine. He did this 510. This is his vehicle right here. This Max Diecast, Colorado, Aurora. Check him out. Instagram, Max Diecast. Sick. The dude's a crazy beast. He put this on Instagram and I saw it and I commented like how nice it was. He actually made a replica of my 07 Nissan Xterra, same color, even with the dent, everything. I'll have another video of that. And I comment, he gifted me this vehicle and it was stanced. And Max, if you're watching this video, I actually did tap it and rivet it, screw it back in. That'll be another video also. So let's get back to this Datsun 620 because I hate long videos. I know this video might be a little longer than I wanted it to be, but again, this is my first video, so I'm testing out. That went right in nice and easy. I put the covers away. I go to the first level, and I can see right where it is. I don't know if you've seen that. You can't see that. And I snap that right back off. Swap this out. Okay, that looks nice and neat. Oh, that's nice and that's a lot of play in there. It's good. I'm not really worried about the dual play because the axle's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to fall out, and it also has the notches, like I said before, that's going to hold them in place. So take the other rim, and these actually go on pretty easy by hand. Don't stab yourself. Again, please do not stab yourself. Parents, if you're watching this, don't let your kids do it by themselves. And I'll give it a little love tap just to make sure it's in and it's not going to fall out. And I'll give it a little test. Oh, that's nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. I go right back here, pop that in. There we go. Pop that in. Put that back. Now, you are going to notice there might be a slight issue when you put it back together. When being that these, oh, look at that. That axle is nice and soft in there. I'll put that back in. And we'll turn it upside down, put that back together. And actually, nope, the gap is gone. There is a little gap in between there. Okay. That gap is there because this axle is definitely thicker than the factory axle. So when you put it back together, you might have a little liftage somewhere. You can, again, you can if you wanted, because obviously when you put this back together, you're gonna have to glue it back down somehow. I use JB Weld to fill in the spots, but again, be careful what you're doing. And I did use a razor blade. I recently bought. I know I talk a lot. Recently bought an X-Acto knife, so I just go in here, go into these two areas right here, and you scrape a little bit out, you know? Again, you do have to have a little skill. Parents, be careful. Do not let your kids do this. I'm gonna let my kids do this. And the X-Acto knife is perfect. Be careful yourself. And you can literally just go in there and trim a little bit. I'm gonna trim a little bit more off the back, because the back seemed like it was lifting up a lot. So trim this out. Safety first. Always cover your knives, sharp objects, move them away from yourself. And we're gonna go back and try this again. So here we go right here. Gonna pop that back into place. That axle was loose. Gonna pop that back in place. Give it an eye. You know, be cool about it. Give it an eye. Make sure that the wheel is in nice and straight. Okay. Pop that back in place, and that gap is better than before, but not there anymore. And there you have it. Simple wheel swap. It does roll, not as freely as it did before. These, you can keep them. I usually like, what I do with these, off topic again. I usually just cut off one end. And I get rid of the wheels, chuck that. I don't know what the yellow set, other set's right over here. Take that again. Take those. And I keep these actually, because you never know when you're going to need the pin needles. You could go and buy these on Amazon, the pins. I mean, if you really want to, but that's that. So, no special needles required. It's common sense, to me at least. Others, if you're mechanically inclined, then yeah, you're gonna notice it. Simple as that, dude. It's not crazy, you know. Now, that's pretty much it. It looks good. You change the look. Again, before when I said we're gonna see what it looks like with the white walls versus the black walls. So now that the rim is everything is all mounted, you can simply pop this off, flip it around, and you want to get one side in before you go. Okay, pop it around, rotate, and there you go. Now I have an R32 rim, factory rim, mounted onto my Datsun 620. Looks good to me. Alright, thanks for watching.